Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to One Hub Racing Season 24. We've just done qualifying night on Sunday, and now it's the moment that all of our 60 drivers, well, less than that, have been waiting for. It is time to announce which drivers have been placed in what tiers for One Hub Racing this season. My name is Jess Sport. I am one of the co-owners at One Hub Racing. I'm also head of broadcasting and content. And joining me in the commentary box this evening is my partner in crime, the head of commentary at One Hub Racing. It's Jamie. Jamie, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. How are you guys doing? Yeah, this should be a good evening. We should get a lot of drivers a bit excited for what Tia's doing, and we'll reveal them very shortly. And yeah, and I think it's been a good week. I think the qualifying night was a success, and I look forward to tonight as well.
Yeah, qualifying night, I have to say, was absolutely fantastic, and well done to everyone who took part. And there were some very good stats from qualifying night about a lot of drivers. I need to actually get the tweet itself because it would help me understand what I'm talking. There we go. We've had 21 drivers set a lap time in the 25, which was more than last season. I think we only had a few in the 25 last season in Silverstone. 24 drivers set a lap time in the 26s. And then 46 drivers set a lap time within 2 seconds of each other, which is crazy. So at least I think most of the tiers are going to be ever so close. And I think every single driver has put in all the effort to make sure that they can get the lap they could possibly be. And that meant us admins found it very difficult to decide who has been placed where. We even had 2 versions of the document. It was that difficult, wasn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it was very difficult, but I think in the end, sometime I think I come to a conclusion, which you're never going to get this 100% perfect, but I think we've got as close as can be. And I think we should have 3 very competitive tiers this season with the way the drivers have been placed.
Yes, so make sure you stay tuned because you will find out where you'll be placed very soon. Jamie's quiet on people's end. Okay, let me just adjust that so he's a bit louder. There we go. Hopefully that will be all right for you in just a minute. So here is how it's going to go. We are going to reveal the commentators for all the tiers. And then after that, we're going to be revealing the tiers one by one. We'll be starting with P3 tier, which starts every Sunday at 6 p.m. Then we'll go straight to revealing the P1 tier because there's no point revealing P2 afterwards because otherwise it's kind of like a foregone conclusion. So we'll do P3, P1, and then P2. And then after that, Jamie has got some news about the team contract system and how you can apply for that this season. For drivers that were here last season, a slight change to where you can find it. And obviously for new drivers, you don't have a clue how to take part in that. Well, you'll find out in this stream. So, yeah, we are about to reveal the commentary lineup, so we'll do that first. So we'll start with our reserves. Of course, we've got yourself, Jamie. We've got Larkin, Waity, and Ace. And the commentators for each tier are as follows, which will be posted on Twitter very shortly. Nick and Colin will be commentating on the P3 tier. Omi and Mike will be commentating on the P2 tier. And myself and Steve, aka Max, will be commentating on the P1 tier. So the first time in a while where the commentators have been well, I can hear myself again. The first time in a while where the commentators have been decided before we announced the tiers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm especially looking forward to Nick and Colin commentating together. That's going to be, I think, fun to watch. I'm almost certain. What do you think of them?
Yeah, they're very good pairings. I think this is probably. So it's probably our easiest time to have the pairing commentators. Obviously, we've got 2 pairings that know each other very well from last season, worked very well together. And obviously, Nick was, I think Colin was asking about commentary, and I think Nick and Jess decided. I think Nick agreed to be a commentator, and I think Colin was happy to join alongside. So yeah, it went pretty well. And I think we should have 3 fantastic commentary pairings this season, and obviously our reserves are there if any of these guys miss a race, and they'll come in. And I think we've got a few keen reserves as well, so I think the commentary lineup is pretty much as good as it can be for this season.
Yes, and you can check them out on Twitch every so often as well. So each week a tier will pretty much have their chance to be streamed on Twitch, and then all the others will be streamed on YouTube. So yes, plenty of action to go on. All 3 tiers are going to be streamed this season. But less rambling on, Jamie. I think we've got to reveal what most of you are here for. It's the driver placements. So we're going to start off with the P3 tier. Like I was saying, it's live every Sunday at 6 p.m. UK time, the first of our 3 tiers as well. And like I was saying, commentated by Nick and Colin. So, Jamie, I'm going to hand it over to you to announce who is in the P3 tier.
Well, our P3 driver's got 19 at the moment. One guy who... So we've got 1 place left. So if anybody think they can join us, then let us know. But first off, we've got Matthias, who is the reigning constructors champion from this tier last season. Then we've got Hooky, our ERT driver, obviously a very popular driver in the league, and I think got a point to prove this season. I think he's capable of more than what he's shown last season. And then we got JR Mason 54, obviously everyone knows his story, and obviously that fantastic race win in Austria a few seasons ago. And then we got Felix, who is making his debut this season, as is Papa. He's making his debut. And then we've got JMet92, who has raced here a few times in the past, I believe. And then we've got Jess Gamer 95, who I think also is quite a well-known person. And then we've got another rookie in the league in Marcy. And also Lesty, who I believe is a returning driver. I believe he might have raced in the past.
Ages ago.
And then we've got another former champion. So we've got 3 former champions this tier of Whooping Proverb. He won in season 20, I believe. And then we've got Jackamundo, who obviously made his debut last season. And I think he came on really strong end of last season. She's definitely was improving. I think he could be a dark horse this season. And we've got Cowboy. And then we've got our 3rd former champion this tier in Fozzie Bear. And then we've got O-Dog, who 14, who is the mate who is best friends with Jack. They work together, so they'll probably team up again. And then we've got the ever popular OKK, still helping with our Discord and league. And obviously he returned last season. He'd be looking to, on a full-time season this season, be looking to maybe get some good results. And then we've got another rookie in Anthony Hunt. And our next rookie is M125CCM. And then 18, our rookie Cosmic from Australia, so he's very committed to the league. And also we've got Dr. Mewtwo, who's also a rookie. So a lot of new drivers in this tier. So be interesting to see how all them drivers do this season.
Yeah, you said a few dark horses. Matthias is definitely one of them. I mean, if he gets his race pace together like he did in Kota last season, I think he's going to be one to watch. And I think it's between Matthias and Hooky for the title. In my opinion, Hooky, I think, is going to get the driver's title as well. And I can definitely see who Hooky is going to team up this season as well. And like Jamie was saying, there's 1 space left. So if you're not as fast on the F1 games and if you are interested in signing up for a league, then join us on SimGrid and get to your timed in around Silverstone, and we'll see if we can place you. Otherwise you will go on the waiting list. So yeah, and I don't know why a certain Jamie Met is placed in this tier. Anyway, we will move on to the next tier, which is going to be, well, we're not going to reveal P2 yet. We're going to be revealing the big dogs, the one that most people want to be in, the P1 tier at 8 o'clock UK time, commentated by myself and Max. I know a lot of these drivers. I know a lot of new drivers as well. So I'll do a countdown in 3, 2, 1. So number 1 is ERT Bryn, of course, the ERT driver who's done really, really well last season, especially in USA. USA, a common theme there as well. Next, we got a returning driver, another ERT driver, Nathan Samba. Very excited to have him back. We'll see how he can do. Then we got a new driver who was very impressive in qualifying night. I think one of the highest new drivers out of the ones being placed this evening, of Ben Mills. Then we got Owen Wyatt, who's been very consistent last season with a lot of podiums. He just missed out on 3rd in the championship, but he's looking to do better and maybe get that, or maybe even win the championship. Next, we've got a returning driver of Lakita, who has been a top-tier champion in the past and has won many constructors as well and scored lots of points. So very excited to have him back, and welcome back, my friend. Then we've got a certain driver that I can't even pronounce. ERT Nick Race Egan. Have you heard of him, Jamie? I haven't heard of him. He is a quick Canadian.
Yeah, very vague.
And then we got another driver that I've not heard of is ERT Colin R. Mason, a certain one that's going to be commentating alongside Nick, maybe. And I think they're probably going to be teammates together this season. Then we got Aiden, number 8, who really wanted to get into P1 this season. He's a new driver. Great to have him in the league, and congratulations to getting in the P1 tier. Then we got another female in the league. I'm not the only female, who really impressed us in qualifying night, is Speed Queen 80. Then we got some more drivers who were in P1 last season. ERT Casper, who is looking to improve on last season, because there were some races he didn't do as well this season. He's going to hope to do well. Chalkers is back in the P1 tier, also an ERT driver. Senna being promoted from P2 to P1. He definitely wanted P1 tier, so he'll definitely be happy with that. Then we got Mate Dude, that's another new driver, another driver that impressed us in qualifying night. Same with this next driver, who is ERT, Nate Clark MC. Then we got our champion from P2 last season, JM69. It was inevitable that he was going to be promoted into P1, and there he is. I can't wait, and he had a really good lap time in qualifying night to prove it too. Then we got ERT King, one of our new management members, and of course an ERT driver, performed very well with this next bloke, J. Cole, who did very well, both of them in the constructors, and scored some decent points. Then we got another new driver of Extreme. And then we got Oshin and Mata, who were both in P2 last season and were both fighting for the championship. So a lot of dark horses this season, and we got quite a stacked grid, Jamie.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've got 10. She's got 10 ERT drivers in that tier. And I have to say, I feel like the championship may be between them top 4 drivers at least. I believe they may be the 4 drivers to fight for the title. Because you know, Quick Bryn is Samba. Obviously, when he's racing with us, he's been rapid. Ben Mills showed some great laps in qualifying, and Owen Wyatt, who came in last season, did an amazing job getting them all on podiums. And Lakita was impressive in qualifying out, so he could definitely up there. And you can never rule out the likes of Nick or Colin. And I say Speed Queen, I was very impressed by her. And yeah, I could say every driver in this tier. It's hard to tell. It looks very competitive. And I believe this is Johannes' first ever race in the top tier. So I'm interested to see how he does in the top tier. So yeah, that should be good to see. And hopefully he can do well.
Yep, and we got a few reactions as well in the chat. A few people were expecting that tier. A few people were maybe disappointed that they didn't get the tier that they wanted. But prove us wrong if you want to get into another tier potentially as well. Now, if I haven't read your name, then you can probably guess what tier you're going to be on in this season. 7 o'clock, the P2 tier, and that's going to be commentated, like I said, by Mike and Omi. And there's certain drivers that you probably wouldn't expect to be up there. But we've got quite a few drivers from the P3 tier who have got a point to prove. And Jamie, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, and obviously our first guy on the list is NSX Bearer. Second is Red Matt, who had a lot of pole positions last season. Maybe the races didn't go as what he thought. And then we've also got 2 management members. We've got 3 management member teams here in a row. We've got ERT Waitsy and Lukey, who both dropped down from the P1 tier. I think they both maybe wanted P1 in qualifying night, but didn't quite make the cut. This is a great opportunity for them to maybe fight for a title. And number 5, we've got Quinn, who was very impressive in qualifying night. A great lap by him. And then we've got ERT Justin, who's been raced with us last season, I believe. And then we got Donert, who actually, he used to be called Donkle, and he used to race with us back in the day, back in season 12. So he's a long time returner. And then we got Cam, who seems to be a mainstay in this tier. all seem to be in around the top 5. Maybe Cam can break in that top 3 this season. In ninth, we got Specialist, who again, he's been in his tier a lot, and he's had some good races, and it's good to see him back. And then we got Jordan in ERT driver number 10, who I believe has beaten my record for the shortest retirement in league racing. And then we got Ali B, who obviously was teammates Johannes last season, and he's back in his tier. And obviously, a few of the quicker drivers moving up, he may fancy his chance of some good results. And 12th, we've got Axelok, who obviously was in the top tier last season, and he could be another guy to fight for the title. And then we got Ramef in the Dutch guy, who I believe did he race last season? I'm not 100% sure. And then Zempler, who obviously was our reigning P3 tier champion, he sort of dominated the championship, and he gets a fully deserved promotion to the P2 tier. And then we got ERT Thomas, who is returning, and then we got Lawrence, who obviously was a former P3 tier champion in season 22. He's back. And then we got Cam Rules, so we've got 2 Cams are back, and Cam Rules, the guy's got decent pace, but maybe lacking a bit of consistency. Maybe this is his time to shine. And then we've got 3 drivers who moved up from the P3 tier in Waze. Waze off that fantastic drive in Silverstone where he won from the back of the grid. We've got Ghost, who was our runner-up in last season in the P3, and Rageman, who finished in 3rd place in the P3 tier. And yeah, I think this is Rageman's first time outside the bottom tier, so it'd be interesting how he does.
Yes, we thought it was only fair to promote the top 3 drivers from the P3 tier to the P2 as well, to give quite a lot of people in P3 a chance to win that trophy as well. And of course, Wade in other leagues as well has proven how quick he is as well. So that was why quite a lot of us decided to go with the P2 tier for him. He thinks he could be a back marker there, but you never know, he could surprise us all as well. And Red Matt, who was, in terms of awards, he got the award for the shortest combined qualifying time. Wasn't good in race pace. I have a feeling that he wants to get his race pace sorted out, like he said in the chat. And he was quite disappointed that he may have not got the tier that he wanted, but he definitely probably has a really good chance in that as well. I think out of all the 3 tiers, I think, Jamie, this is the most open in the lot. I can't tell out of any of these drivers who we think's going to win this title. So it's going to be up to the drivers to give it all out on track.
Yeah, I agree. You can make a case for half the field, I think. The bottom middle tier always tends to be quite competitive because you get the drivers who maybe not quite good enough for the top tier, and the drivers who are slow enough for the bottom tier. So they tend to come together, and you tend to get drivers very close in pace. And this is where you get grid separate by like half a second and stuff crazy. So this could be very good, and it's going to come down to consistency and who can make the least mistakes this season. I can't see a driver who's going to run away with it this season.
No, I don't think so in this tier. And I'm sure Mike and Omi are going to have so much fun commentating on this tier. And they did so well last time. So I think they're going to be doing the same again. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. UK time. And that is all the tiers, ladies and gentlemen. We only had to turn down, I think, a few drivers. I think there was one driver that was a little bit too quick for this league, unfortunately. One, of course, didn't show up. But we haven't messaged that guy, and so unless he wants the open spot, he can contact us. And there's another driver as well that we felt would dominate the tier he's in, so that's why he's not a part of it. Apart from that, everyone has been placed in this league, and I'm going to make my predictions on P2 and P1, actually, who I think is going to win the title. P2, I think I'm going to go on a bold one. I think it's going to go to Justin. I think it's going to be the P2 champion. What do you think, Jamie?
Oh, that's interesting. It's hard to tell. So many good drivers, and it's so difficult. I'm tempted to go with an outside bet here. I think Lukey's got a point to prove. He wants to be in the top tier. I think Lukey may be the guy to take the title this season.
And I think same with Chris as well, Waitsy, who is our head of media at One Hub Racing. He was very happy. I was in a party with him after the qualifying night. He was very happy when he got in the 25s. But if he did that time last season, that would have put him in P1. But it just shows how competitive that everyone has been this season to get into the top tier, which could be really, really quick and really, really fast. But in terms of P1, let's get the P1 image up again. Oh, it's gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go for an outsider. I've seen what he could do in other leagues, and I know he's a new driver here, but when he's put under pressure, I think he's quick. I think Ben is gonna be the P1 Drivers' Champion. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, that's a good shout. I think Bryn will. I think Bryn's got really good pace, and I think he's desperate. Obviously, he's been on and off in the league. He hasn't really had a full season in the league as of yet, and obviously he's going to have that this season. I think Bryn's got a point to prove, and I think he'll take a very close championship battle.
Yeah, so those were our predictions, of course, and I said my predictions for P3 to be Hooky as my prediction. So let us know your predictions in the chat as well, and don't count out Red Map for P2, by the way, as well. So yes, you will be added to your roles pretty much, I think, tonight or tomorrow. It depends if we have time, more than likely tomorrow, and then you'll be given more information about the season ahead. But now it's time for Jamie's baby. It is time for how you get into your teams for this season. It's the team contract system. We do it slightly different to other leagues, which is very, very exciting, a really unique format. And Jamie's going to explain how it all works. So listen in if you're a new driver.
Yeah, so basically, team contracts, we have, like, for our teammate selection, we have this process where we have 10 contracts and offer one for each of the teams, and our teams are separated into 3 groups. So in the top group, we have what are known as maybe the 3 top teams in one F1. You've got the Mercedes, you've got the Red Bull, and you've got the Ferrari. And in the middle group, you tend to get teams that tend to find themselves in the middle of the grid. Maybe sometimes push you to the front, maybe sometimes at the back of a bad season. They're McLaren, Alpine, Aston Martin, and AlphaTauri. And then the 3 teams that tend to be at the back of most seasons, Williams, Alfa Romeo, and Haas, they're the lower ranked teams. And basically all 3 of these teams have different criteria. So for the lower teams, Williams, Alpha, and Haas, these teams basically have no criteria to apply, so anybody can apply for it, anybody get accepted, and I just pick it at random. And then for the middle teams, these are drivers that are looking for a little bit of experience, a little bit of experience, some results in the past. But even if you don't match the criteria, you can still apply for these teams. It's just likely you probably won't get the team. And then the top teams like the Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, they want drivers with real, like, potential in one racing. So people with, like, won races, got multiple podiums, they've had a few points finishes, they've had some good championship, they've had some good driver of the day results, and they've had a full season. And the targets for these top teams are to finish top 3 in the constructors and top 6 in the drivers. For the middle ranked teams, is to finish top 7 in the constructors and top 14 in the drivers. And for the rest of the teams, it's just to finish 9th in the constructors and 18th in the drivers. Now, these are just targets. It doesn't mean you're going to lose your seat if you don't meet these targets. These are just to push you on, and maybe because the higher teams expect you to get more. Now to apply for these teams, what you need to do first is on the Discord, go to the league database, and here you'll be able to find your stats on the league database league. And if you think the stats are wrong, if you know the stats are wrong, then you can go into the corrections chat and ask for it to be updated. So you got the wrong nationality or the wrong PSN or Steam or Xbox ID, do that. And then stage 2, you look at the groups of teams. You see it if you go down to the driver hub, which obviously is a new location for this season, you will see a tab called Team Contracts. You click on that, then you see the groups of teams, and you'll be able to see the criteria in full. And then you can have a think about what teams you want that drive for. Who do you think you'll meet the criteria for?
I can show you, actually. I can show you how to do a ticket if you want. So hopefully you guys can see the driver hub that we've got here at One Hub Racing. So, of course, you won't see all of your tier chats because we're admins. We can see it. So all you got to do is you're going to be scrolling down to where it says team contracts here. So you see it there. Obviously, you'll get all the permissions very, very soon. Make sure you read all of this and look at the tutorial video because that explains all the questions that you need. Obviously, Jamie will explain a bit more about the other steps in a minute. Then I will delete this ticket, by the way. You will click on Create Ticket if it loads, and then it will scroll down to the team contracts ticket section, and the new ticket should be created for you as well. And then you rename your own ticket to your PSN or Steam name. So I'm just going to call it Test PSN, for example, because no one's going to be applying for that anyway. So once that's done, you state the teams that you want to apply for. If you're the person out of your teammates to apply for, you can apply for one or apply for as many teams. So as you can see, this person's going to apply for McLaren, Ferrari, and AlphaTauri. So they're going to submit that, and they probably decided, oh, I want to have a teammate. So they will put my teammate this season will be Joe Blogs. So then, as you can see, as soon as Jamie's got that information ahead of teams, he'll put a tick next to it, so then he knows he's got it on the spreadsheet, and then it's all hunky-dory. Then by Friday or Saturday morning at the latest, then you should get a response in your ticket saying whether you've got a team or not, and only 10 drivers in each tier will have a contract with that team. So there we go. That's how you create a ticket, everyone, and it will be open a little bit later on. But do you want to explain like the advice and top tips?
Oh, like I say, just said there. If you've got a teammate already, like, do what she does in the ticket there, where you apply to it, so you put your teammate down, and then what I might do, I might add your teammates to this ticket so they can see together how it's going, and then just basically apply for as many teams as you can. Because I cannot give everybody their first choice of teams. It's impossible because obviously so many people might want to drive a certain car. For example, what I tend to do, I tend to go on. I've got several drivers applying for like a top team. I tend to just pick it on the guy with the best stats, and then if there's a tie after that, then I just tend to do it at random. So it's not first. It's not so you don't have to apply straight away. So don't worry. It's not to do with timing. I'll give you a couple of days to apply, and hopefully by Friday you should have a response to everything. And as I say, if you've got two teammates who are going to be together, only one of you apply for teams. So then I don't have a situation where I give both of you contracts, and that means you can't team up. So if you've got teammates already, just talk to each other's in like DMs about what teams want to apply for, and you get that ticket in, then we can sort it out together. And and then at the end of it, if by Friday, if drivers aren't paired up, then I'll say there's like 3 drivers aren't paired up with 3 things. I'll just do it at random. So I think I'm hopefully get done by 10 o'clock on Friday night. That's my target. So
then Luke, you can do all the graphics.
Yeah. Ahead of Sunday, because we normally have a bit more time, but obviously because we had to push qualify night, Blacklight was a bit less time, a bit rushed, but we should get it in, don't worry. And if you've got any questions, just ask me and I'll answer them for you.
Yeah, and there are certain drivers in this league this season that have been affiliated by a team, either in esports or in real life. So that's another thing that Jamie will be put into consideration. So 9 times out of 10, that driver will probably most likely get that seat if they're affiliated with that team, whether it's with work or with esports. Not every tier has that 1 or 2 people in that, but there will be certain drivers that will get that team straight away, even if they don't meet the contract. Some people would meet the contract criteria anyway, but there will be a few exceptions if they are contracted to either race in with their esports team or either work with them, just like a KK does in Aston Martin. So he's more than likely going to apply for Aston Martin. He doesn't have to, but if he does apply for Aston Martin, he's more than likely going to get it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and if a certain person here may be getting a Red Bull car, but we'll leave that to it as we but yeah, but majority of seats are free, so I'd say it's only about 3 or 4 that applies to. So the majority of the seats across the tiers are free to apply for anybody.
P2, it's a free for all, I believe. I don't think any P2 driver is affiliated with any team. So if you're in P2, you can go for a free for all. So there we go. And if you do get accepted, you will find out, and then you'll be able to publish it on your social media as well. And then on Sunday, it comes to the race, and you'll be racing in that particular team. And ideally, go with a teammate that you A, get on well with, and B, you stand a good chance of winning the constructors. Because if you don't get on well, chances are you're not going to win the constructors. Or maybe if you're not sure what teammate to go for and you know the drivers very well, look at how they've done in previous seasons in other leagues, and if they've done well, then maybe I could team up with someone and potentially do that. So if you just give me a second, I'm just going to be doing a little last-minute things in the background to make sure everybody could see the channel, because we said, it's open, and people were complaining that they couldn't see the channel. So I think, the team contracts are now, are now open. So go on the Discord and apply for any team of your choice, and follow the tips that we just given you as well. You've got ideally until Thursday, Friday the latest to get your teammate selections in. And best of luck, everybody, and best of luck to Jamie, who has to sort this all out as well. I don't envy him, to be honest, but I'm going to deal with all the commentary stuff whilst he's gone. But yeah, best of luck, everybody, and Jamie has to apply for a team as well. He's not getting away with it either, so he has to do this as well.
It's a bit funny, and they have to apply to me on ticket, but I've had to do that a few times. But I don't just give myself a team. I match myself to the criteria as well, so I don't give myself whatever I want. I always make sure I match to the criteria. And I've actually had to turn myself down for a seat last season. So yeah, I don't just give myself the best car. What I like. So you can probably tell by what car practicing all the time. I don't get all the time in a race. So yeah.
You didn't get McLaren last season, did you?
Didn't know.
You got a nice car with a teammate that's not here anymore, which is a shame. But that means you have to go for something different. But anyway, final thing before we go, just a reminder of what prizes are on offer. I did explain that in qualifying night. Top 3 in the Drivers' Championship will win a trophy plus a £50 voucher. Then trophies for 2nd and 3rd place, as well as free entry to next season. Constructors champions in each tier also win a free entry into next season. And prizes for this season to be confirmed, and these are just some of the prizes that we gave for season 23. Quite a lot of them, and you could be winning any one of them as well. More information about the prizes maybe in just a few days' time. But before we go, quick plug of our sponsors. We've got Next Level Racing, who provide prizes such as the Next Level Racing wheel stand, the GT Elite Light as well. I can't wait to see what they've got on offer this year. Azatec Sim Sports, who provide some lovely prizes. Like last year, they provided some boots and a cap. Pure Sim Gear, I believe we got some exciting things planned with them this year, but they were able to win some gloves and some socks to the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps. That could change this year, though. Our partners, Vespertine, who sponsor our apparel and merchandise, which you can go and get from the merch store. Of course, ERT, Elite Racing Team, they partner the league. They also get their drivers to go into the league as well. They give them free entry, and also partner the ERT, go and get stuff award and sponsor our trophies. And that's just a bit information of how the ERT Go and Get Stuff Award is going to work. Attend all races, finish outside top 3, and complete all pre and post race interviews. And finally, to our last partner, SimGrid, who provide our community and platform. And this is where you signed up to the league, and this is all where we get the standing. So thank you very much to all of that as well. So all is left is to, well, you got to get your team contract signed and sorted out, and get practicing for Australia. Australia is next week. What are your initial thoughts in Australia? Obviously, the new layout has been in place for like 2 years now on the game. And we haven't want to have racing in a normal league racing scenario in a while. The last time we did was, I think, season 22 and pre-season race.
Yeah, so I've actually done a proper race on this layout, and we did that pre-season race, the proper points race style. Yeah, I do like it. I think it's more flowing, and it sort of reminds me when I used to drive this track on the kid. I used to always skip that chicane when I was a kid, so it sort of reminds me of that a little bit. But yeah, it's a very fast circuit, and yeah, it's. But I've done a bit of practice yesterday, and I think it's a track where you're going to see a lot of mistakes. So I think it's not just about outright speed. I think consistency. If you can keep it on the island, you're going to get a good result. We're going to see a few spin-offs and a few crashes, I think. So we may see a couple of safety cars, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the part of racing, you got to take them. But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting first round of the season, and yeah. The first 6 races of the calendar are good for me, so I've got to get my points early.
Yes, I think the same for me as well. We'll have a look at the calendar as well. I think for the first half of the season is where I stand the best chance. Jeddah and Baku, maybe not, but there are some, and Monza. I hate Monza, but apart from that, there are some decent tracks for me as well, and I stand a good chance as well. But I'm not counting my chickens. We don't know what the new drivers are going to be like. They could be quick for all we know. And we got 4 sprint races. And we talked about the new features. And also Taz is coming back as well for the first time since season 22. So that's going to be exciting. But we will leave you to enjoy the rest of your night. And for some sweat bags, I'm going to probably practice with Nick later on to do Australia. I might do the same, actually. But for myself and Jamie, thank you so much for watching. Get applying for your team contracts. But for those of you that are not in the league, we will see you on Sunday at 6 p.m. for the first tier on Twitch for the Australian Grand Prix to start off season 24. Have a good evening, and please react in the Discord if you're happy with your tiers. Take care. Bye-bye.